Hey guys, so I have these two frozen fruit bags, and I wanted to use them before they went bad or anything. And I actually ended up only using the purple one to make a dump cake. And every morning I like to have some type of pastry and coffee, which I know it's not really good for me, but I figured at least it would save me money if I made my own instead of buying them out. But yep. And here I'm just gonna set the oven to 350. It's preheating. I had to write the recipe down because I didn't want to be checking my phone while making the video and making the food. Megumi was helping me here, hold it. So I ended up being able to use the entire bag. I'm just trying to kind of break it apart. And I think this particular bag had like blackberries. It had blackberries, strawberries, and blueberries, I believe. Some raspberries as well, I think. Yep, raspberries. And it called for like 3 cups and 3 cups, like 3 cups of blueberries and 3 cups of strawberries. But like I said, I just wanted to use these frozen bags. I'm just trying to break them apart. I wish I would have known that it was the whole bag, so I would have stopped measuring it and just dumped it on there. But I wanted to get the measurements as close as possible. And I think I got those frozen berry bags at Aldi, actually. It's half a cup of sugar. Just sprinkle it. It's just regular white sugar, nothing. No specific type. I think I use like the Walmart brand. And it calls for 2 tablespoons of lemon, but I really would just rather use a whole half a lemon, like the whole half. And I thought I took all the seeds out before I squirted the lemon, but a few of them fell in there, so I went and got a little spoon so I could just scoop them on out. I can't imagine getting one of those in a bite of delicious cake. And this is my first time making this cake, so please don't judge me too harshly. I'm reading the recipe. I got the French vanilla one. It called for white cake, but it also said that all of the ingredients were very flexible with whatever you had on hand. And I did buy this. At my, like, when I made like my grocery order, I did grab this because I didn't have a cake on hand. But I wanted something good, and the French vanilla just seemed like it would be right. It said it was extra moist, so I kind of like that. It's called a dump cake because you just kind of dump all the ingredients together. And I think I was trying to get rid of like the little flour balls. So I think it called for 3/4 cups of unsalted butter, but I actually ended up using 2 whole butter sticks, which I believe is half a cup. So I did use what they called for, the 3/4 cups of unsalted butter, but later on when I check on the cake, and you'll see, it actually ends up being too dry. And I ended up adding the rest of the butter and then putting it longer in the oven than what the recipe called for. A lot of times I'll do that. I'll take a recipe and just be inspired by it, but I end up kind of making it my own, which I like flexible recipes. Here I am. It says to just put the butter like equal amounts apart. So the baking time, it said originally that it was 45 to 50 minutes, but it was actually ended up being an hour. So this is me following the instructions. It was at 350. And I put 45 minutes on this one. Now we're just going to wait a little bit. Now the 45 minutes are up. And this is where the extra butter is needed. I pull it out and I realize that there's some areas that are very chalky. You know, they're very, very raw, very powdery still. So I just kind of want to see how deep it is and kind of get it moist with the little saucy berry juice that it's got at the bottom. And I'm going to add more butter to those little dry spots. I think I got all the dry spots. Pulling it back in, leaving it at 350, and just adding 15 more minutes. Seems about right. I'll be back and check it in 15 minutes. All right. And make sure I don't turn it off in case I need to pop it back in. But this time, it finally came out the way it was supposed to. Everything is soft. I honestly probably could have stood to leave it in there a little bit longer because even though it was bubbling, it could have been a little bit toastier. This is the first time making this recipe. I don't know if I will make it again, to be honest with you. I don't know, because it was just the lack of crust was a little bit, because it kind of did taste more like a pie than it did like a cake. But it was meant to be eaten with ice cream, but I didn't really want ice cream. I wanted more of I don't know, I wanted more of a cake situation going, and this was more of a pie. And I think, it was recommended that we eat this with a scoop of ice cream, and I think it would have been really good with ice cream because it's very much like jelly at the bottom. It does kind of become like a jam. And I'm just cutting it just to serve myself and my daughter a piece. And my daughter doesn't really like cake and she hasn't been wanting sweets, so she tasted it. She didn't really want any. The other one did eat a whole slice. I ate two because, I've been waiting for it the whole day. And I hadn't had breakfast either, so I just took it as brunch. Yeah, pretty happy with it.